Hello world. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different today. There's an exercise that Kyle Cease does, and he talks about in some of his teachings and in his videos, and it's called Kylego. And the name actually, it's a funny origin because it started with him and his friend Diego, and it's a combination of their two names, so Kyle and Diego, Kylego. And what it is, it's a visioning technique. And if you've heard of that in any other, it's talked about in so many other practices and, enlightenment, works of enlightenment and everything. What he looks at, the purpose of Kylego is to put you into the mindset and into the feelings of where you want to be. So normally in visioning, you say, okay, I have this goal in mind, I have this vision in mind, in 12 months I'm going to have this boat, and I'm going to have whatever, $10,000 in my bank account, or $100,000, or $10 million, or whatever, and you make these detailed vision maps out. And they're amazing, right? Like visioning is a really great tool, but the issue with visioning is you're not emotionally attached to that vision. And it's hard to get emotionally attached to that vision sometimes. So with this exercise that Kyle and his friend Diego started doing together, what it does is it puts you into that mindset. It puts that visioning as it's already happened in your life, right? So that it's something, because it's already happened in your life, then it's training your brain and your body to feel it as it's already happened. It's done, it's over. And because it feels like that, then you're in that state of mind and in that state of body. So I forget what, you'd have to look up his videos, and if you look up Kylego, he talks about that and kind of what he did, and he has his classic Kyle comedy to it. So I'm going to try that here today. I've only done it once before, and this was back a few months ago, and it worked so well that I decided to not do it again. and it kind of led me to backing off of all of this kind of self-improvement stuff, like all of this, anything from this world. I did it, and then it kind of talked about where I'm going to be in a year from now. And the way that you do this is you just start talking. You'd be like, oh, you remember? So like right now, today is September 11th, 2017. So the way that you do the exercise is you'd be like, you pick a point in the future. You'd be like, okay, say it's Christmas of 2017. And you put yourself into the mindset of Christmas. So it's like, oh yeah, I remember back at September 7th or September 11th, that my life was like this, and blah blah blah, and so much has changed since then, and this happened, and I got this contract, and this job came up, and I made these connections in life, and then this happened, and you just kind of keep talking along that. And the more that you invest yourself and your energy and your feelings and get really into the motion and that state of mind in that, it becomes real in your body, right? And so I did this back a few months ago, and I did it for a year in advance, and I talked about collaborations and some businesses and kind of where I'd be at financially within a very quick period of time. And something really eerie happened, is like within a few days, all of a sudden my monetary situation changed really quickly, and like almost overnight at one point. And then there's a few other really eerie things that happened at the time, and it scared me, and I felt like I am not ready for this. I don't deserve I don't know if I can take the responsibility of this, of what's going on here. So, some time has passed, and I feel stronger, and I feel ready to take these next steps. So I'm going to try that today. In a previous video, I committed to making sure all of these videos are under 10 minutes. Except I'm going to make the exception for this type of video. So when you do these types of exercises, I think you just kind of got to let it flow out, and if it comes out in 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, awesome. If it comes out in 10, awesome, or 20, like, it's just got to be what it's got to be. You got to allow the process to happen, because I truly feel the more that you invest yourself into it and allow it to unfold, the better it'll be. So that's what I'm going to do here with you today. I wanted to share what the Kylego exercise is, and I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm just trying to decide right now what feels right. Do I stop this video now and then I start up another one? No, I'm going to do it in this video. I'm just going to let it happen. So here we are. So I'm going to project myself. There's another EOL, Evolving Out Loud event with Kyle Cease coming up in June 2018, and I want to go to that. So I'm going to use that as my date. That's going to be my new present moment in time as I Kylego this exercise. And let's just kind of see where it ends up. I'm going to pause this really quick because I'm realizing I have to go to the bathroom to take a little quick pee. I'll pause it. I'll be back in like a half a second in your time and a minute in my time. Okay, so here we go. And by the way, like, part of this, it might seem a bit silly, right? Like, because you're talking, just the way you're talking, but really that's just your vulnerability, right? That's just you doing something that's a little bit out of the normal for what you're used to, and you're doing something that, to some people might seem kind of hokey pokey, or kind of what you've been trained to view as hokey, and but you know what, whatever, it's just life. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable, and let's have some fun with it and be goofy and just allow yourself to do it. So I really encourage you, if you decide to watch my Kylego exercise to the end, amazing. If not, do your own though. Yeah, so let it happen. So here we go. And I feel a little bit nervous right now. I'm like, oh, the world's going to be watching this. And I'm also a little bit nervous about what's going to happen and come of this, and what's going to come out of my mouth, because I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. That's the beauty of this exercise. So, without further ado, let's start to Kylego. So, yeah, so here it is. I can't believe I'm at the Evolving Out Loud event here in California. It's June, it's 2018. It's so amazing. I really wanted to be there last year. I remember back, September 9th last year, when Kyle had his Evolving Out Loud event, and all of my friends that I met in the EOL community were there, and they got together, and I could see that they're going through so much emotional change and really getting deep into themselves. And I'm like, no, that's my dream. I'm gonna do that. And here I am. Like, I love it. Like, it's beautiful outside. It's really, California is really hot, and it's amazing, and it's beautiful. And I'm meeting all of my friends that I've been connecting with over the last year, and ones that have come from all over the world are here again, and it's just so amazing to connect with them. And a bunch of us we've committed to staying in this house, for a few days before and for a few days after the event here, to just really spend some time together and just continue the process of getting deep and collaborating and everything, and it feels so amazing. And I remember really so clearly back in September of last year that I had no money. I didn't have a job. I was really struggling in terms of my finances, and in terms of like paying my bills and trying to get all of those things in order. I literally had, at the time of on September 11th, I literally had like $15 to my name, and that's cash, credit, all of it. And my rent hadn't been paid yet, and my cell phone was due, and I was really worried my cell phone was going to get shut off, and it didn't get shut off. And I was able to, within a week and a half, get my rent paid in full. And because I was just able to buckle down, I got into the zone. I stopped being afraid of doing things wrong or trying to have things perfect, or I stopped being afraid of not doing the right things in life and having it overtake me. And because before that I was so worried about, and it just seems so silly to me now that I'm in this place. Here I'm in California, and it's amazing, and my bank account is fuller than it's ever been in my entire life. But to think back and to think how scared I used to be, I just feel so different right now. I feel so, in some ways, I almost look back and think how silly I was, how naive I was to think that I had to be that poor. And I realized really quickly, I remember it was on September 11th that I realized that all it was just a simple change in my attitude and my paradigm, and that I was only poor because I believed that's where I needed to be. And that day it just changed, and I just started doing things differently because I believed that I was more than that. And so much so that one of the things that I made commitment to at that point is like, I am going to the June event, that I'm at here right now. And another commitment I made to myself, because I'm like, I know the capabilities that I can produce, that I can put businesses together and get money together in a really, really big way between September and now. And what I wanted to really do is it was to be able to buy a number of tickets to give away to a bunch of other people that couldn't afford to go, so that they could also go to the event. So I remember playing around with numbers in my head and like, oh, maybe I could just like buy 1 or 2 tickets, and thinking about that. And here I am today, and I'm like so happy to say that I was able to buy an extra 25 tickets to this event to give out to different people. Some of them I give to like friends and family, but most of them I give to just other people that some of these communities that just needed that opportunity, and that really deserved and really worked so hard in their lives, and they just needed that break. And I wanted them to be here at this event, to share this with me. And I'm so excited because they're here and they get to experience this time. So yeah, so that feels like a really amazing thing that I was able to, buy these extra 25 tickets to this event. And because that's what this is about. We're changing lives. We're changing the world, right? And I feel that in my soul right now. Yeah, and it feels amazing. So the last year, I remember being so, I pushed everything in my life right to kind of like the last. It was, I think back now and I'm like, what was I doing? And when I think back, I'm like, I pushed those boundaries, I think, to kind of see to see if I still existed through it all. And I think I needed to know for myself that through all of, beyond money and beyond status in life and beyond relationships and friendships and everything, that I was still there, that I still existed. And holy fuck, was I still there. I still existed. All of a sudden I showed up in a really, really big way, and it was like night and day. So I could barely put gas in my vehicle, and I was driving my parents' truck at the time that that they've been paying for the insurance on for like almost a year, or about a year of me using it. And then here I was, here I am, that just a few weeks after that, like I changed my monetary situation almost immediately, which in some ways I wasn't surprised at, because I knew that I've always had that potential. But whatever shifted me at that time, I just knew I had the confidence to do it, and that it was okay now, and that was the right time. So, like I said, it was like night and day. I got my rent paid within a couple of weeks of that, of September 11th, and my cell phone all got paid before the end of the month. And what else was there? I was concerned about. Oh yeah, I bought my parents' truck from them before the end of the month, and got that going. And then actually I bought a new vehicle in October of last year, or like a newer vehicle, just something with more than 2 seats, something that I could bring all my kids in. So I bought that in October of last year, and then things just kept improving and improving and improving. I started collaborating with so many people. My electrical business, I decided at the time that was going to be my vehicle to get me on my feet. So immediately I got the website created and got it up onto Facebook, and got it advertising, and jobs came in right away. And it was like people were just waiting for us to start to publish it. And so these jobs came in right away, and they're great jobs, and they led to more contracts because we treated the customers so amazingly, and we worked really hard. And Greg and I got that started, and that became my vehicle to get out of debt and to get me back onto my feet. And then when we started that, what was really amazing is I knew where my limits were. I knew that running an electrical business was not going to be my full-time job for the rest of my life. And I was honest with my business partner, Greg, at that time about that. So, and he was perfectly fine with that. So what I did is I moved forward, and I put a ton of energy into getting that company going, and to training Greg in the things that I knew to help him, become the manager and the owner that I know that he definitely could be. And through my other connections and experiences and stuff, we started connecting with other electricians, other owners of electrical companies, and we created this amazing new company. And it was only a few months later that we created this amazing new company, and it started just with some conversations, and I had this vision of doing something different in the market. And at the time I didn't know what it looked like, but now here we are, we're all working together. We're really changing how the market looks as far as tradespeople, especially electrical. We're doing a lot of collaborating, we're doing a lot of supporting one another. We all have a core value to bring out more good in the world. So it's the core value of this company everybody is like sharing equally in it, and we're um, everyone's doing really well and being compensated really well. But it's not about just the owners, which is amazing. It's about the clients, and it's about our employees. And there's so much, and it's being given back in all of the ways. And we're involved in community efforts, and we do volunteering, a lot of volunteering through the companies. And like all of the various owners have different passions in their life that they want to give back to. And it's been a really amazing experience. So that's been the start of my bread and butter over the last year. I got my podcast going, The Messy Middle. I got that going early October of last year, and now we're nationally syndicated. We do 2 podcasts a week, and we're interviewing all kinds of people about just that, living in that in between, in that hard middle, which is really it's everybody in the world, right? But we're interviewing so many people on kind of what that means to them and in their lives or in their professions, and really bringing an honesty to the conversation. That's been such important work for me, because we as society have always looked at people with with money, or in like professions, or like sports, or like different things, with such reverence and such awe, right? But what we forget is that they're all just humans too. And this podcast has been a beautiful way to shine a light on their humanity and on the messiness of what they go through in their days, right? That we're taking the spotlight off of all of the perceived beauty of lives, and we're just saying, hey, this is the reality, and this is the goods and the bads, and everything that kind of comes along with it. And we're really enjoying being this ugly, messy soup that's in the middle of everything. So that's been a phenomenal experience over the last year. And like I said, we're nationally syndicated now. We have over 50,000 listeners, which is just mind-blowing, that how quick that it came to be. Like I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. So that's been amazing. Christmas this year, just on a personal level, was really great. We got to spend a lot of time with our kids. Michelle and I still co-parent extremely well. We're still living our individual lives, and doing really well with it. And our kids are doing so much better. We had to put the hammer down on them last September, because it was just time. There was, with a lot of things that happened in our lives, there was guilt that we carried, and there was tools that they didn't get taught because of some of the things that went on in our earlier years in our marriage. But we hit a point where we're just like, no, that's enough. And it's, we have to move past the guilt and move past those things and put the responsibility onto their shoulders. And I'm really happy to say, like, they're all doing really well today. And there's still some challenges and struggles, but it's, from what it looked like for each of them a year ago or last September, it's a 180-degree shift, and we're so pleased of all of the effort that they've put in to themselves and into each other and into our family. So that's really great. And yeah, like it's been an amazing year. I don't worry about money at all anymore. I essentially can go and do what it is I want to do. And I live a pretty modest life, but I can go and do what I want to do when I want to do it, which a year ago I didn't have that ability at all. I barely could go out for a beer sometimes with friends if they're in town. but here I am now. Like I can do a lot of these things. And it's really amazing because it allows me the freedom to connect and to keep being in my higher self. I have such a passion. I help a lot of people with their businesses and with their ideas and developing their ideas. And I'm involved in a lot of different, ventures, business ventures, that are all being developed. But I'm also involved in a lot of like mastermind groups and a lot of collaboration that I do absolutely for free, because I want to see people succeed, and to share some of my experiences and help guide them through their experiences and into what they're doing. And it's been really wonderful, especially like it's nice seeing your own successes. It's seeing the successes that I've had over the last year, but seeing the successes of the other people around me just really it's been filling my heart so full. It's been such an amazing experience. And there's people that have podcasts, and there's people that have created businesses, and like I've seen coaching businesses growing, and there's so much that's happening that's changing the world and opening people's eyes, that I'm so blessed and so grateful to be a part of, just even in my small ways. So here I am in California this year. Like I said, a year ago, I didn't think I would ever be able to do this stuff. I've already taken a number of trips this year. I got my passport last fall. I never had a passport before that, because I never traveled, and I think I just never deserved that. Never felt that I deserved to be able to travel. And so I got my passport last October actually, and I started doing some traveling, and I've been doing quite a bit of traveling this year. Most of my life now is remote work. Some stuff still calls me back to various locations, like back to Edmonton, where the electrical company is running, and I have to spend time there on occasion. But most of what I do is all remote now, and that's been a dream of mine forever. And here I am, able to live that dream. Next month I'm going to be spending out of country, just doing some traveling around, and I'll do my work just from my laptop and my phone. And it's amazing that it's come to this. It's hard to really put into words the changes that have happened over the last year. The best thing I can say is like it's really truly been a believable, grateful experience, like 180-degree change from where I was in like every aspect of my life. Because I was happier and healthier and more active, I've lost a ton of weight over the last year, which is amazing. I just feel great. I stopped worrying about pounds and counting calories or anything like that. I just focused on my happiness, and I just focused on being active and getting involved in things, and it's been amazing. Got involved in some sport and stuff over the winter, back into martial arts, which I have always loved. So I'm doing quite a bit of training in that. And so here I am in sunny California on June 2018, and it's so amazing to see all of these friends that I've been connecting with for the last year, through this EOL community and through these other groups. Kind of seeing them all in this one place and spending all this time with them. And I'm so blessed that I can come up like a week early and stay for an extra week or two after. I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to stay, but that's the beauty, is I have the ability to adjust my schedule if I need to. And so it feels really great. Like I just feel like in a nice place of bliss, and it's nice to be in that place for myself, but it's so much more fulfilling seeing everything that's been going on around me, seeing the changes in my kids, seeing the changes in just in my family situation, because I've been able to work so much more, like just even being able to contribute to Michelle and her life and helping kids and stuff more, and that's been amazing. So you can see like her stress has dropped down, and that's been wonderful. And all of the other people that have been coming along this ride, like Greg has like changed so much over the last year. He's really stepped up to the plate in our electrical business, and he's an amazing manager. Like it's been a wild year. I can't say anything more. I'm so happy about it. So there we go. So that's Kylegoing, everybody. That's what you do. You just kind of manifest, let it happen, let things go. Try to put as much detail and feeling into what you're saying as possible. Don't be afraid of what you're saying, right? Like, stop. There's no need to censor it. Life is just what it is. You are where you are. There's no shame in anything. And the important part in that exercise is just to get into that feeling, to really get into your body, and just to really enjoy the process and allow your imagination to unfurl and present you with whatever's going to present you. So I encourage you to do this for yourself. I encourage you to do it regularly, and pick whatever chunks of time you want, right? If you want to say just for a month from now, right? Or a year from now, or 6 months, it's up to you. And if you could do it in the mirror or with a partner, that's even better. A partner would be great. I'm going to try that here one day soon. Maybe I'll do it online with one of my EOL community friends. So if any of you watch this, please by all means, message me, and we can do some Kylegoing. I would love to do that. And in mirror's great, or even like when I'm doing this video, I can see myself doing it, so that helps as well. So that's Kylego-ing, that's the exercise, and I'm gonna get these videos up onto my YouTube site and take some next steps. I've got an electrical company to start, obviously, so I'm gonna get that done right away, because shit's got to happen in the next couple of weeks, according to what I just did. That just all came out of me. I didn't plan any of that. I didn't even set any of those dates. That's what came out of me. And don't be afraid to be unreasonable a little bit, right? I think it's okay to push yourself. That's what your heart wants. You will rise to the challenge. Your standards will rise to meet you, and just trust that process. So anyway, I got some shit to do. I've got some businesses to create, and some podcasts to create, and some connections to make, and I want everyone to have an amazingly beautiful day, and we'll talk to you all soon.